Don't forget to check out our sponsor, The Health Blaze, at thehealthblaze.com. 100% all natural products from lotions, soaps, foot soaks, bath bombs, and much, much more. Use the promo code Goodfella1Boxing. Tell them your boy CJ Goodfella sent you. Get 18% off. We out. All right, we back with another boxing video. And Boxing Scene announces the International Boxing Hall of Fame for 2020. Floyd Mayweather, Wladimir Klitschko, and Andre Ward all make the cut. Found out who missed the cut and found out how 2020 International Boxing Hall of Fame may be the biggest, the greatest Hall of Fame that you ever seen, and you may want to go. So let's chop it up about it, excuse me. Hit that subscribe button, bell icon button, share the video. Dan Raphael did the article. He's a contributor at Boxing Scene. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, bell icon button, share the video. And it says undefeated pound for pound, a dominating record-setting long-time heavyweight champion, and an unbeaten two-division world champion. All three are going into the International Boxing Hall of Fame. Floyd Mayweather, Wladimir Klitschko, Andre Ward, which people that's born like the year I'm born from, or the year I'm born in. Remember all three of these fighters vividly. Members of the Boxing Writers Writers Association of America and a panel of international boxing historians, about 200 votes electing them, and they will be enshrined during the accumulation of the 4-day 31st annual induction weekend on June 14th at the Constantino New York Museum. Hopefully I said that right. 2 years ago, Hall of Fame reduced the waiting period for fighters eligible from 5 years to 3 years. For however long wait would have been, the three elected Tuesday were clear slam dunks. Definitely agree. Two other newcomers to the ballot with huge resumes but fell short were Miguel Cotto, the first Puerto Rican male fighter to win world titles in 4 weight classes. How can you say no to that guy? And then the other guy was James Toney, okay, a one-time pound-for-pound king, 3-division world champion, who was damaged by testing positive for performance-enhancing drugs multiple times, including one instance that erased a heavyweight victory in the modern men's category. The top 3 vote getters are elected in addition to anyone who achieves 80% of the vote threshold, meaning Cotto and Toney fell shy of the percentage. So, and I think James Toney started testing positive when he got with Freddie Roach. And that was the end of James Toney's career. Even if you want to erase what he done, I think that all was a heavyweight. He tested positive. He said he had an injury and he took something. They said he was on PEDs. All right, but if you just took what he did at middleweight, super middleweight, he a Hall of Famer. You know what I'm saying? Straight up and down. First ballot Hall of Famer. You know, and also he won the top. I think he won a cruiserweight, super middleweight, and middleweight. So I guess he skipped over light heavyweight. I can't really remember. But those are 3 divisions that he was in. And James Toney said he should have been a heavyweight from the beginning. He was a 210, college football prospect that could have played college football. You gotta hear his story talking about how he must beat up Deion Sanders. I think he might have beat him up. But yeah, I mean, Andre Ward, he was, basically telling his dad he made it. It's a huge accomplishment. Now, am I questioning the threshold or, guys getting in? Absolutely not. Wladimir Klitschko, he lost some fights, but he was dominant in a watered-down era. But then again, he was dominant. It's a lot of champions that's in there or great fighters that's in the Hall of Fame that didn't have the greatest era or didn't have a mega fight. And Klitschko never really had that mega fight. And that's why most Americans didn't really embrace Klitschko. Either one of them. He came back and fought Brian Dennis at the Barclays Center. But then again, he just didn't have the Deontay Wilder, the Joe Louis, Jack Johnson, Sonny Liston, Muhammad Ali, Larry Holmes. Shit, he really didn't have a Trevor Burbick. But then again, he definitely deserved to get in. And Floyd Mayweather, of course, even though he's the most detrimental person to the sport of boxing, he definitely had a great resume through his era. He changed boxing a lot as far as, the times they fight a year, the VADA drug testing. And also he got some of the biggest pay-per-views that, boxing has ever seen. All right. So, he definitely deserved to be in there, even though he a whole bitch. And I said what I said. I don't mean to grow. The more I grew older and I more understand what he did, at the end of the day, he won't be in my Hall of Fame. Fuck him. But he definitely deserved to get in the Hall of Fame. He just pulled so many whole moves in boxing that he's destroyed boxing. He's, diminished boxing. He's destroyed it where nobody could be better than him. And look how he promote Tank. Hide and go seek. If it's a Lomachenko, hide and go seek. If it's a Shakur, hide and go seek. If it's a Cobra, hide and go seek. If it's a Tio, hide and go seek. And right there with him, that's his legacy to me. He didn't just slip and duck inside the ring. He slipped and ducked outside the ring. He didn't get too many black Americans a chance. You know what I'm saying? And anytime he gave Black America a chance, he got scared. He got scared. With Chop Chop Corley almost knocked him out. Shout out to Chop Chop. And Shane almost knocked him out. But, you know, I do think Miguel Cotto should have been the first ballot Hall of Famer. I mean, sheesh. For him and James, I understand they were saying that James Toney passed, but Toney got caught later in his career, so he should have been in there as well, too. But Toney and Cotto should have been there, man. No doubt in my mind, both of them should have been first ballot Hall of Famers. And Cotto was an amazing fighter, but it's a crime that both of them to get in on the first ballot. But they said in modern women boxing category added last year, bitter rivals who never faced each other but who still blaze their own impressive legacies were elected with 2-division champion Layla Ali and 3-division champion Aaron Wolf. In the non-participant category, Dr. Margaret Goodman was elected with posthumous honors to cutman Freddie Brown and manager and trainer Jackie McCoy. All right. In the observer category, legendary Boston hero rider Arthur George Kimball and longtime Showtime president Jay Larkins were elected as well. Posthumously, hopefully I said that name right. But in the old trainer category, late former featherweight champion Dave Moore was elected in Marion Tremer, in a late, sorry if I butchered her name or his name, in the late Jackie Tonawanda were elected in the women's trailblazing category. It will be a double induction ceremony because the class of 2020 will also be enshrined. You mean 2019? I think he meant 2019. The class of 2019 would also be, well, yeah, it's 2020, so next year will be 2021, sorry. So yeah, the class of 2021 will be enshrined. That class, led by Bernard Hopkins, Juan Marquez, and Sugar Shane Mosley in the modern men category. Now, I don't know if Shane Mosley he must have been the first ballot, so Shane Mosley took that shit and he got in. And to be honest, Shane had a great career. Beat Oscar De La Hoya. He had a great career. But if Shane can get in, he took that shit. And I love Shane. Don't get it twisted. If Shane can get in, if he was on the first ballot, he got in, and James Toney to get in, and don't forget, Miguel Cotto beat Shane Mosley. He was good at the time. So Miguel Cotto and James Toney both should have got in by this standard. And I love Shane Mosley. I think James Toney had a better career. That's just my opinion. You know, Miguel Cotto, he had a great career. But in the modern men's category, Christy Martin and Lucy Richter is a modern women's class. Were supposed to be inducted this past June, all of them, plus Marquez, Hopkins, and Mosley. But the Hall of Fame weekend was canceled due to coronavirus. During Mayweather's, okay, I don't care about his legacy. So, I mean, this is a really great class. I mean, the coronavirus created a great class. It's worth going to. Mayweather should be there. Klitschko should be there. Ward is definitely going to be there. And they're going to have Marquez, Bernard Hopkins, Shane Mosley. So it's going to be studied. You know what I'm saying? You got some of the greatest fighters of that era, man. And that's worth definitely going there getting, autographs. And they usually have a little fight there up there as well, too. It's in upstate New York. And, I think Vladimir, talking about all the fighters there, all the fighters that I know that's going in, that I respected, that I love the most, probably Hopkins. Hopkins is my favorite fighter going in. Out of all of this, if Toney was in here, he'd be in there. But Hopkins is the one guy that I want to see go in. I was a huge Bernard Hopkins fan. I mean, I love Marquez. I love Shane Mosley through his career. But if you ask me one guy that I really want to see, it's Hopkins. You ask me one girl I want to see is Ann Wolf. And Layla E. I love them both. And they should have fought, in my opinion. But if you ask me one guy I want to see, Bernard. If you talking about another guy I want to see out the other class from Mayweather, Klitschko, and Andre, it's Andre. I don't care to see Floyd Mayweather. Because I see him, I'm going to have some words for him. I'm probably going to beat my ass, but it's going to need to be said. But I was a Klitschko fan. I was a Mayweather fan. I was a Ward fan at one point in time. I was a fan of all these guys that's going, and girls that's going in that I recognize. I was Marquez, my favorite Mexican fighter. I love Marquez. Bernard, my favorite fighter going in. Love Shane. It ain't nobody I don't like as far as the fighters other than Mayweather whole ass. But yeah, if Cotto and Toney should have got in, Now, if they put Toney in,
I love to see Toney would be my favorite fighter. I love Bernard Hopkins. But hey, it is what it is. Let me know what you guys think. I might have to take my boy invitation. He invite me every year. I might have to go this year. That might be one of the trips that I take to go up there to the International Boxing Hall of Fame. Don't forget me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can reach out here with business question, inquiry, sponsorship, video requests. All my social media links in the description. Twitter's the fast way to reach me to Facebook and Instagram. We also have a Facebook group. Want to advertise your business on the channel, whatever, hit me up. Want to make a financial donation, Cash App, CJ Good 313. That's in the description. PayPal link in the description. Appreciate the love, support. Best way to donate is share the video, hit that subscribe button, bell icon button. Don't forget to check me out at Goodfellas Sports TV 2.0 on YouTube and Motor City Sports Talk right here on YouTube. Appreciate the love, support. One time for the one time we go.